Abusua TV. Enyansafo nko aneshe.
Tentem so a yamamu nyina akwaba na yemfa momre Abusua 1 TV. Abusua 1 TV na wageze se enyansafo nko a na ehwe. Abusua ye kwa achim asuom kontini ho. Breaking news enyasem keto akra. Ohini nana Boadi amponin Boadi a otoso biensa. Obekan ya one ofre NPP amanyuko se 5 strong men na echo contest from flag bearership no. Omi esankwase no. Na nanensa de nsembi di aba betudwa achirem sentia Dr. Bawumia obetumi abeye mampanyini ewo Ghana amana yeye na enyasem keto akra yebeko Dennis Miracles aboagye nso wono mo wono nso de nsem bia betudwa yenim se na nanom kokko akuafo wono bre yiye pa obowuram ewo akuafo no mu a wono mu didi nkomo ne nsem eba nyasem keto a saa nso ne ye maame abrewa bi a wonya 81 years no ye kokko farmer wono nso de nsem bi ede aba betudwa yebeko ne akotie Abronye akasa dia fa change of names a ekoso ewo Ghana na zuzu se eyade a ehadwe papa nanso one tribe bi wa hanoma wo mo de emfe wo mo kra nti amu wo mo koso na omu enyini mesaw won subscribe ya subscribe na share na like na fo adwe nchen fato efa emame aha eya Abusua 1 TV so yenko nana Boadi amponini a wotoso miense suom kontine ensemo de atodwan
Dr. Bawumia is nothing but a perpetuation of the Akufo-Adolization of the NPP and the presidency. Let me repeat if I went too fast. Dr. Bawumia is just a perpetuation of the Akufo-Adolization of the NPP and the presidency. You asked me if he will be able to win in 2028. And I say yes. He will be able to win come 2028 if the exchange rate, which they carried from 4 cedis to the dollar to 17 cedis, is exceeded to, let's say, 25 to 30 cedis per dollar, then people will start calling for him to come back. He can win if the interest rate, which was 40%, and it's now 16%, goes above that 40% to, like, let's say 50 to 60%, then they will say, oh, okay, NDC is not performing well, and so let's give Dr. Bawumia the opportunity. He can win if the debt to GDP ratio, which they left at 93%, is exceeded. He can win if the impunity, the arrogance, the pomposity of the Akufo-Addo era is surpassed. Yes, he can win. He can win if the looting, the thievery, the corruption, the mismanagement is exceeded. That $97 million is thrown into a hole somewhere. That $31 billion is siphoned out of the country into accounts overseas in the guise of imports. That 1.4 billion criminal enterprise. That 11.9 million Pualugu Dam scam, in which he himself has his name mentioned. And whilst all these monies were boomeranged into the Ejapa phenomenon, so that they could have enough money sitting somewhere for the future of their descendants. Kolebu dialysis department needed just 4 million Ghana cedis. And they pretended they didn't have money. And so 19 people had to die needlessly Such wicked people. A lot of pensioners had to lose their lives. When all this looting, all this corruption, all this is exceeded, then you can tell me that Bawumia has a chance to win, and he will win. But this NDC, with the performance we've seen so far, tells us all that it will not happen. A lot of people wonder why he came back. Has he come back just to continue the looting? Has he come back so that he can bump up the number of ministers from 58 to the 126, which they argued was the number they could run this country with? Has he come back to collapse more banks and savings and loans and make people lose more jobs? Has he come back to make the situation worse?
Was it Bawumia bet me a bear man penny? Said dollar no could do best at 30. Inflation hurry. So we ran a name some man no body to you because I didn't want him or Casasa any other. But so we ran some walk here. Let's say you bien wa a room a honomo. Na ye mungum. Na you could Dennis miracles Boadi. Nakachi. Yenim says you seen an animal for every year pa. Ye bin him the aqua could na me maka. Sir Randy Abbey or your boat chair, Edema Cuckoo, no dear. I was up Mampany, John Draman, Mamma, person of a more kind. They teach you cocoa sector on the sun. You could see miracles of what opposition in Pepine be on the first be any baby. I can't have government you. There can be a say Randy Abbey, a yama woma quenya, and nay cocoa woman carry, now see him to our mocha. You could see miracles of what.
These are the realities of the people, and that's the whole essence of the People's Forum, where we are not sharing our views, we are only amplifying the voices of the people, to the extent that the government would hear these cries of these farmers and heed to their cries and find an urgent solution to these challenges. Yesterday I was listening to the Cocoa Board CEO, and I wasn't inspired because he said they are looking for solutions.
Isn't that assurance enough? I mean, he's telling the people that they're working around the clock to find solutions for them.
If you have a crisis that started as far back as November 2025, and we are in February 2026, and you are still telling the farmers that you are looking for solutions, that's not assurance. That is not encouraging. That is a sign of leadership in crisis, a sign of a leadership without a clue as to how to deal with the situation. 4 months and you are still looking for a solution. One would have expected that the presser would outline what the solutions are after 4 months. And so we had some of the farmers asking, if since November we are in February, you are now looking for solutions, when would you find the solutions before you even come and outline the solutions to them? And that's a worry. And you know, they are about to enter the main crop season as well. And so it's a very, very worrying situation that I think that the government need to treat with all kind of agency that is required.
Miracles Abronye no mo nsem a woka na makadi akira ben enie me ekoyi but side nkakran bi no se mo ahwe ye beko die tia mo ye koti abrewa wanya 81 years o ye koko farmer mo akọ carry ni koko na nso ye ntua ne ka e ya rewosem se wona nani enu maame ni a sei na obesi afa no ye koti ye maame na
ye cooperative me president na if he say ni atwom me atwom ye hu ni abai bida se me medi 81 years and so me se adwuma na be ye se me ni adwuma bi a me ye eti me ye ku adwuma na makoto mi koko na abuso me nan untu ya me ka ade na opese me abrewa mi di se adwuma be na me ye na me di eti me slaban ade se bia na ade tu me ya pani chaw wa ka se bla atwom no beto koko no sister wanye kakra ni adwuma ye de yaje atom na kakra yaje atom so na wo fe sika yi mayen na ye be ni enti ade se de ani ye de to aben ye sere no onya maye no komo de ye matitifie o me nananom atitifie se me nya sika ma no anu akọ enti me sra ba ni sempa ni chaw ni de kwa so me de nya me pa ni chaw wo hu ye mo bo na ye sika no hia kakra maye wate ye fu hu afu me metumi ado metumi no ukuta pani a oso okọ gold etu amedo And no, Hamaba, yes, 120. Mimi will be not acquired. It's a idea, and you do too.
Since an number for bree pa, and I think say it was say a banishe, no can once money. Yes, sound subscribe your bush and 1 TV, so you subscribe and I say, not for drink to some mammy. Young call Abronye. What then said the breed, ya to their fat change of names. A Bible was a son, a Bible was a son. No face one tribe we were Ghana and more. What would they don't care about the change of name. So, Santimema, Baba Yaranya can need Nasa Santini. So, Mamma, quite more than to stadium. So, because he say, change your Hini Jai and the Yaba, and nay change your Kotokani, my Abronye free say, M1 in Timra.
Say, Santifano Bacoso, I Majuma to Musica, Nipantiasio, one Bacoswa, Coswa, Nipantiasio, because I petty things, you know, and found more. And that is a fact. And Yama petty things, you know, and fast and for and far more. A dear emphasis come now, my dear, and far more petty, and Yama be a petty things, you know, yam far more him. And the Mao Modas Sonkono, and Yama petty things, you know, yam form him, and the Mao Modasun. That is a fact. Who can Pantias by Baka? Baka? Yensi san we free ha yensi san edin we enye ni say ne yem fam prison enkrofo bi na mo mwanye so no ukwa asante region they don't entertain that sane man hia mo afa mo be wo mo ma park no egusu wo ho edini Baba Yara Sports Stadium no wo ma wu wo mo wuya Wamma park ni gusu wo ho a o mo se han wudo firisire mu kra na ne din no eda ye park ni so aye pe enti e din no ngusu wo ho asantefo awu afa kra na mo kwaso enti mu misase mo sesa ohini jan e de kwa Accra Sports Stadium no e de ba de soronko pa na de aba Greater Accra e de akreti nyuma e de adwuma bre mabunu na amoka no and for Duma my question they say renaming Kotoka International Airport to Accra Sports the Numa sign de Baba 0 renaming
Was east about to Bessias and Sana Yediesi Baba Jame Dim Kunim Hachia Emina Adams went me a Kunim intervals here 32 vote to pay now read Secretary TV, fridge, a mu padi in a course. I am refusing. Delegate ni bidin some the atuja. Na Ghana Mampenny, John Dramani, Mamma, and Swashe, and let them Kuman and answer don't do no my Ghana man, she be your so let's say, a battle of Krano, or Muntumu, young cotton. In fact, this government is doing something near young previous administrations, and then another. And I think that John Dramani, Mamma, in needy about body, anyhow, NDC handle no. But we've been free say Baba Jama Ewo Johnson see dinketia ne camp enunti na akofasa ansebui e de aba e no kre yeso wo motano wo no mpese obebe fi ho bi e no kre yenkodi video wi mra na afi ye nto asomfa mam ansana Baba Jama be ma TV no na ebinom ama 50 million ebinom ama access pad kibo gari pad ye jitu aba ebi mat pad kibo gari kaba cafe entuma pofa ice chairs emu bottle enti se Baba Jama so ama TV a enu enya news ebi bae ansa na ebi so e dey eba but eya na bi ka say so oye sana aso auto vote vote ni dey free and no di sika eto enya Baba Jama na di sika toye free tete MPP bae no di sika na be ji ye enti sa na tie ye da wase me so me da wase na edimusi anope kakra yenya de bremu aye busia 1 TV so me so subscribe na share na like na for adwenche to asema me da mase eba mo nyina mu ene hwemidi ene busia pani usi aduno